Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, back with a metal update. All CDs, but with 2 tapes as well. No vinyl, that will come in a later update. Let's get cracking. Firstly, we're listening to the new live album from Gutless, Melbourne death metal band. Awesome, up and coming band. They've done one demo, which has become an LP demo as well, and a split with Mortal Wound. That's where they're at so far. And this is a live recording from somewhere in Melbourne in about April. Yeah, the Northcote Social Club, 9th of April. This was recorded. Straight live set back when we could do gigs, and then we all got locked down again. How fun is this virus? But anyway, really good stuff from Gutless. Pretty sure it's sold out very quickly, so you might not be able to get it. There's the J card, very cool. Live photos band. Just a nice little sort of in between before their album kind of release. I guess they just, had a nice soundboard recording and wanted to get some stuff out. So yeah, really good. Has this warning sticker on the front, which is kind of neat. So there you go. Gutless, a live execution is what it's called. Good stuff. The other tape I've got here is the debut album from Phantasmagore. This is called Insurrection or Submission. This is really awesome. Filthy, disgusting death metal from Chile. Think Fetid, think Mortiferum, Phantasmagore. It's just what you think it is. Putrid, awful, disgusting stuff. 5-track EP. Nice orange shell. There is a CD and I wouldn't mind getting it. Didn't know that at the time. This is the tape release, obviously. Nice J card. Through a head split, which is how I got it, because I did a bit of a head split order. You'll see some CDs here, of which head split did those CDs, but they did the tape for Phantasmagore. Another label has done the CD for this, so yeah, I wouldn't mind grabbing it. 5-track EP, really promising stuff. There is another demo before this, but I haven't been able to find it, so yeah. But anyway, very happy with Insurrection or Submission. Quality, filthy, disgusting death metal. Take a look at these CDs now. First one we got here is Dungeon Serpent. I hadn't really heard much about these guys, but I saw a few people starting to show the cover, and it looked fairly interesting. Classic sort of 17th century artwork or something along those lines, and then with a metal logo on it. Always piques my interest a bit. Canadian band, so it's going to be good. Something in the water in Canada, I know. It's melodic death metal, but it's on that brutal side, so huge intestine balism vibes. Massive, huge. There's their logo. There's the CD booklet. Yeah, real ripping riffs, blasting drums, rolling double kicks. All your good stuff. Sounds like 1995. Intestine Balism's first album. You know what you're going to get here with this one from Dungeon Serpent. Like I said, I don't know too much about them. The vocals are deeper, a bit something like Gosselin or something along those lines. But like Intestine Balism, it's brutal melodic death metal, and that means the melodic part is the guitar leads. Sort of like Bill Steer, really similar to my ears anyway. And it has sort of softer atmospheric outros. The second track I think is called Decay. Yeah, it ends with a really nice sort of slowish outro. Nice package, really good stuff. Yeah, I don't know if this is their first album or what's going on here, but good stuff. I'm going to keep a bit of an eye on Dungeon Serpent for their next release. Next one is kind of an oddity. This is how do we say it? Incardine, I suppose. Swedish death metal from 1993 that was never released until 2019. Sat on the shelf. I'm not entirely sure of the history of why. It is probably written in this very thick booklet, and I haven't got to it yet. But anyway, I saw a friend of mine posted on Facebook about a year ago, 9 months ago. He posted this album, had this cover artwork, and he was complaining that it was he ended up with a Russian bootleg, and he was upset. And I looked into it and realised that at the time all there was actually a CDR 2019. Not that exciting, and I thought, oh well, look, I'll just wait and see what happens. And then, bam, Vic Records, who've been doing amazing reissues, did a proper one. it's so much better. It has everything the band has ever recorded. So you get the Seeds of Doom, which is the LP, Monument of Connection demo from 1992, and the Demo 2 from 1992. So that's everything the band ever did. Like I said, it just sat on the shelf. I don't know why. And then 2019, I think it was a self-release. The band authorized it onto CDR, like it wasn't a bootleg. And then the Russians made a pressing, a proper disc, but it was a bootleg. Whatever. That doesn't matter now. I got the Vic Records release. So like I said, they're Swedish, but they're not a HM2 band. If you're going to compare it to any of the big bands, it's a bit more like Unleashed, but it's more US based. It's got thrashy elements, sort of swirling Morbid Angel guitars. Yeah, it's really, really good stuff. Didn't know anything about them, but very happy that this single one and done album has been unearthed. So yeah, there's the guys. Really good stuff. In Cardine, Seeds of Doom, very good stuff from Vic Records. Next one, latest release from Drawn and Quartered, their 8th album. Absolutely ridiculous. You probably heard, if you're watching this channel, you probably know you probably know Drawn and Quartered. It's brutal, dark, unholy death metal, like using completely evil stuff. Look at that, it's just, whole thing just screams evil. They're a death metal fans band. What I mean is, they've been plugging away at this for so long. They've been around as long as some of the Masters, about 1998. So, as long as Nile, for example. But they've never really got into that next level of appreciation. They've always been that underground death metal band that the death metal fans know about and appreciate. They're on Moribund Records for the 90s and 2000s, and then they've sort of chopped and changed a bit. I can never pronounce the name of this label. Cruciator. They've been on for, I think it's their 3rd album on that label, which mustn't get very good distribution because this and the previous 2 albums have been kind of a pain for me to try and get. But anyway, got it now. Strongly tied to the sound of like Immolation, Dead Congregation, all that kind of stuff, but it's got the Angel Corpse, fast, blackened, ripping, blasty sound, deep guttural vocals, very thick atmosphere, has lots of sinister, evil, slow build-ups, and then has, just blasts with slow guitar lead over the top, which makes it sort of soar. Like Nile do that kind of thing a bit as well. So yeah, if you like any of the bands I mentioned, you're going to like this. Really, really good stuff. But surely you know Drawn and Quartered if you're watching this. So yeah, it's their new one. It's called, oh god, damn Germanic fonts, Congregation Pestilence, I think. I've said this before, I always just know these things by the latest album by Drawn and Quartered. Get it? Next one we got here, debut album from Anthropophagus. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's also the name of an Italian horror movie, so I should know it fairly well. Yeah, debut 2021 album. They've done a 7-inch and a demo. I think at this point I've got the 7-inch, which is really good. Heavy as balls, absolutely blasty, chuggy, quite thrashy at times. I thought of early Necrophagia. The vocals and the slower bits are like Acid Witch, like seriously heavy as balls. But when it gets thrashy, it's like Power Trip. They really mix all that sound up. It's very, very nice. Very nice death metal. The album is called Death Fugu. Fugu? I don't know. But, yeah. 5th track on this is like instrumental chug thing. It's so good. There's not a great deal more to say. I'll take the thing out, have a look at some lyrics. Haven't been doing that. There you go. Not that you can read them anyway. Just a solid debut album. You like your death metal filthy and nasty, but also a bit thrashy and yeah, sounding a bit like those bands I mentioned. And check it out. Really good stuff. They're on Head Split, as I said. These are the Head Split ones that we're going to be checking out. Good stuff. Definitely get on it. Also get on this one. This is the debut. Was it debut? They did a demo, and I think this is sort of a mini album. It's 10 tracks, but it's not very long. This is Morbific with Ominous Seep of Putridity. Ominous Seep. Ominous seep of putridity. Seeping, like, oh, beautiful. And that's, I mean, surely that's the guy that did the Mortiferum cover artwork. I didn't look into it, but that's his style. Absolutely to a T, so I assume it is. And there's a lot of that in this sound too. It's that cave, slime, murky, but it's finished, so actually sounds a bit like some of the finished demos from the early days. Just strained, gurgly vocals, some nasty guitars. There's only so many adjectives I can use for putrid. The damn thing's called Ominous Seep of Putridity. I mean, it describes itself. There's some of these death metal bands, I just need to say, it's look at the cover, it sounds like that. Definitely. These guys have been getting a bit of a rap quite recently. The lyrics, not too much. People have been keen to get this one on tape and CD. I think there's an LP either in the works or coming. LPs, man, they're all, you can half the reason these are CDs here is because the LPs are like 6-8 months backed up in the pressing plants. And I still like CDs. CDs are good fun. So yes, check this one out from Morbific, Ominous Seep of Putridity, if you like your death metal putrid, which you do, of course you do. Next one, the Obliteration album I need to complete the collection, their third album, which is actually called, oh god, I don't know, I can't read that stupid bloody font. Black Death Horizon. I should research these things before I pick up a CD. Anyway, like I said, their third album, their fourth album came out probably just on 2 years ago on Dark Descent. This one is not on Dark Descent. Very refreshing sound. Why I really like these guys, they've got a very analog sound to them. The drums that Fenriz would absolutely love. Knowing how Fenriz goes on about drums, and the fact that these guys are Norwegian, he probably has gone on about their drum sound, because it's just that wonderful, warm, you know, this band have just gone in there and they go, okay, record it, and they played the song, and then they cut it to disc. You know that's what they're doing. It's very refreshing stuff. It's got that raw sound like, you know, Autopsy but blastier. Vocals are like a howler monkey. Ridiculous. Very intricate guitar passages that just go on some really, really wonderful journeys. It's not your, you know, nowhere near a verse chorus type band. It just passages of music that just keep going and winding in different directions. I really love Obliteration. Definitely one of those bands where I bought the shirt. Very cool to see them live. I don't think I'll ever get a chance to see a Norwegian band like this come to Australia. But anyway, Obliteration, their third album. Very happy with it. Last two on the death metal CDs, and then we get to the black metal CD pile. Both from the same band. This is Skull Maggot. What a great name for a band. And it's not even got 2 L's. Skull Maggot with 1 L if you're playing the counting game there. It's probably easier on this one. This is their Skull to Death EP. Came out 3 or so years ago, I think 2018. I've got it on tape. Didn't know there was a CD. Now I have the CD. Very good. It only goes for like 24 minutes, but then this is their new one, Kill and Die. Barely cracks the 20-minute mark. What do you get with Skull Maggot? If Cannibal Corpse kept doing their more technical stuff, but they kept Chris Barnes, and Chris Barnes' vocals didn't go to shit. And also, if Cannibal Corpse were based in Finland, like these guys, you'd get Skull Maggot. Very, very much European Cannibal Corpse worship. I'm sure they don't care to be compared that way. I'm sure they just could not care less. They probably wear it on their sleeve. Tracks such as Skull to Death, Furnace Tan, Terror Barn. On this one we've got Coffin Relocation. I like that, it's a good name. Skinless Bleeder, Phantom Fetus, just vanishes I guess, and Wrong Side of the Grass. Oh dear. Anyway, Skull Maggot. Very fun, good stuff. Together it adds up to being one album, so definitely check them out. First one I'm going to take a look at on the black metal pile, I've talked about it on LP. This is the new one from Abigor. Album is called Totschlager. I'm sure I've got that completely wrong. Totschlager? Anyway, excellent album. I've talked about it before, like I said. It's their latest album from, it was actually the end of last year, but the LP took for goddamn ever to show up. And then the CDs arrived locally and I thought, bugger it. Abigor is one of those bands where I get the CD and the LP. There's not many bands that this happens with. does with Abigail. I just love the band so much, and the presentation on this CD. It's a big, cardboard digibook thing. Very nice sort of papyrus kind of paper, which is very different to the LP version. It's just, fantastic presentation. Put it on the CD, put it on the LP, whatever I put on, I'm going to enjoy it, and it looks wonderful. This one is, they've gone a bit more avant-garde again, not quite to the cosmic Satan in space level that they did in the mid-2000s, but it is more so than the previous album. The previous album, they were starting to really go back in time. This one is just adding that little bit of avant-garde back on top. I think it's a real stellar album. Still prefer the one before it, but good stuff from Abigail. Next one we got here is a band from Malaysia. This is Tomb. Take a look at that gold embossed lettering there. Very, very cool. EP is called Gates of Gehenna. Malaysian black death metal. Sounds like the early Greek bands. Lots of Varathron in here. There's also bands like Black Funeral, Mystifier, the old guard. The occasional use of keyboards that almost feel random is what makes it sound like Varathron. It's just chugging along, being early black metal, and then a bit of keyboard, just for a little bit. And always reminds me of those early bands. But then it'll rock out, have real. I think it's the second or the third tracks just started with a real riffy Morbid Angel kind of thing. It's a very entertaining mini album. It's not a full length. Gets blasty, like crazy blasty, like Mabozadad. It's a real mix of like all these styles. They really nail the ancient archaic sound of these early bands, where it's just very loose sound. And as I said, from Malaysia, so not the sound I would have predicted, but really, really good. There is an LP of this too. Kind of thing I would have grabbed an LP if I had known that it was an LP, but I got the CD, so there you go. Very good stuff from Tomb. I think it's like their third EP, so they've been around for a little bit. Check them out, good stuff. Next three releases I'm going to show here all came from Seance Records, Australian-based, largely black metal, CD, LP, label and distributor. Very, very cool shop. Big fan of the label. They did a combination drop in about, I think the order was maybe 3 weeks ago. They officially all came out today. I've had it for a couple of days. Anyway, this is the first one. There are all these thin digi cardboard sleeve things. I think is actually a really cool way of doing a CD. Brand new band. This is a band from Germany called Shuyet. It's Shuyet. There you go. Shuyet. 3 tracks, about 6 minutes each. Unhinged vocals. Think Bethlehem, but then you add Gollum throwing a tantrum about his precious. That's the vocals you get here. It's just bananas. And it's got, it's black metal. It's got a melodic, pretty warm sound to it. Big snare crack. It's very satisfying. But the whole thing is pretty abstract, like Bethlehem, quite a bit. Very interesting. Often the drums and guitars just seem to go on their own journey, and you don't know if they're going to catch back up to each other. Makes it kind of avant-garde at times. But this is a grower. I've played it a few times, and you just keep finding little bits in it. Such a interesting release. So like I said, 3 tracks, brand new band. Don't know anything about the members. Largely anonymous band from Germany. So looking forward to full length. Definitely got my interest up with these 3 tracks. Good stuff from Shuyet, very promising. The next one, this is not a new band. These guys have been around since about 2003, and is, in my opinion, their best work yet. Absolutely fantastic album. Pestilential Shadows, new album. This is Revenant. 6 tracks. It is, like I said, their 6th album. They've been going since 2003. Easily their best. If you've not heard Pestilential Shadows, I do have a feeling that they're more of an Australian known band than international. But think of the strong atmosphere of Nazul, which I assume you will know, but then the savagery of bands like Erebus Enthroned. That's not surprising because members from both those bands are in Pestilential Shadows. It's just fantastic black metal. I don't know what else to say about it. It's kind of, you know, it's overwhelmingly atmospheric, but I wouldn't call it atmospheric black metal. It's just very well done, straight ahead black metal. Pestilential Shadows, awesome. And the last one from the Seance Records pile, probably my favourite of the three that they've released, though it's pretty close to that Pestilential Shadows, the new one from Ichor. Again, they're a band that I don't think many outside Australia know about yet. It's only their second album. It's dark, doomy, very well produced, atmospheric black metal, lots of ambient interludes. The whole thing feels like a very nice package. Guitarist and vocalist, both from Nazul, so it has that similarity. And the drummers from Nocturne's Mist, a band, I think they're from South Australia, I'm not entirely sure on that actually. But anyway, the way I think about particularly this album from Ichor, if you like, with Nazul, if you like Vow of Vengeance, the opening track from the Black Seed EP, and you want more of that slower sound that they tended to not do for the rest of that EP, you get a little through Ichor here. That's what this is. It's just like that track but 5 times, which made me very happy because I love it when those guys go slow to crawling speed and really layer on thick that atmosphere. It works so well. I haven't been showing the CDs for any of these because they're in the machine actually, but yeah, inside just folds out like that, and there's the back, which is very cool. Yeah, that's about all I can say really. It's very similar to parts of Nazul, and it's not surprising because it shares 2 of the members, so definitely check out Ichor. And the last one I'm going to take a look at here is a band I've really fallen for in the last couple of years. Everything they do is gold, and everything they do is pretty varied. This is, I'll just show the CD. This is the newest one from Ifanak. It opens with bloody panpipes and keyboards and then quickly goes into these frenetic trem riffs because it's just got to remind you it's black metal. You're not going to get that the whole time. Huge atmosphere. It's a one-man band. Lyrically, it's all about, yeah, it's based on the First Nations people of Canada. And, oh man, on this particular one, it's more in the mid-paced Ifanak. So, like one of the ones they did, the split they did was almost D-beat punk, and then another one they did was more Burzum-ish kind of black metal. This one's its own thing again. It's a bit more tribal. It's got a lot of acoustic passages. It's got tambourines at parts. It's got chanting. The obvious comparison for people if you've not heard Ifanak is Pan American, Native Front. Similar lyrical themes as well, and very similar style. In fact, on they did a split album at one point. And I think the guy from this band contributed to the latest Pan album on guitars on one track, I think, if I read that correctly. But anyway, awesome stuff. This CD is the second issue of this one. It's called 4 Fatal Amulets. Second release. The other one had a completely different cover. You can still get this. It said it was limited to 45 copies, and it's been like that for weeks now, so I don't know if people even know about it. Just get on their Bandcamp, very easy to get. And it's out on, Tour de Garde. So yeah, big fan of this band. The second track here, the Lutvian Star, maybe what it is, I think it's Germanic font, whatever. It's like nearly 10 minutes long, and it's just a magical black metal journey. Love it so much. Ifanak, great band, and yeah, that is my update. We've been listening to Gutless in the background. Hope you enjoyed all these CDs and a handful of tapes. The next metal one will be all LPs. Hopefully in a week or two, something along those lines. If you like what you saw, please like, subscribe, check out that thing and that thing, and I'll see you all next time.